Welcome back to the second episode of Off the Bench. You're back after one episode, and we're going to have some better audio quality this week. And our better audio quality is sponsored by El Barzan this week. They got a fire steak burrito. Go eat one.
Yeah, they got some decent deals there. But you can tell Duff came with a full upgrade, new mic, new stand, and I brought in my normal mic. We decided to put the other mics to the side because the audio quality just wasn't it. This one might actually be too loud. We haven't decided if that's going to be the case yet. That's what we're nervous about.
But too loud, you can still hear us.
Yeah, what's worse, too loud or too quiet? You let us know.
All right, and in today's episode, we're going to be recapping Super Wildcard Slime Weekend.
Yeah, lots of games. And, I was thinking about that is we just got to watch 6 football games this weekend. Now we only have 7 football games left. So think about that. We have 7 football games left until we are done.
I like thinking about in hours. Like last weekend we had 20 hours of football. I didn't get sick of it.
I didn't move once. I watched almost every game, other than when we drove to Indiana during the Bills-Titans game. I think I watched every single snap.
I think my left butt cheek got tired from sitting on a couch too much. So during the Steelers-Browns game, I had to shift my body. Because I've been watching football too much.
Well, the fiasco of this weekend, the Super Wildcard Weekend, the last time we'll ever get to watch 6 football games in one weekend until next season, was the Colts-Bills, which, this game, I thought I was about to be starting off with the best prediction ever, which I said that the Colts were going to win. I did say the Colts were going to cover, which they did, but, Colts ended up losing 27-24. Bills move on. Were you a bit nervous? This is your team right here, the Bills.
I was nervous. After that bad call by the ref for that fumble, that was real bad. That was definitely a fumble. We're no longer ref fans.
No, so. Yeah. I even have a question to ask you. This might be the turn of the refs. I think this might be. I started to realize maybe they are not as superhuman as I thought. There was a lot of suspect calls where they needed to go back to the booth this week, and it was kind of making me nervous.
And it's even worse if you go back to the booth and still make the wrong call.
Yes, that's what I mean.
They're looking at a Microsoft Surface, and they still miss it.
I watched that pass call guy get up, get completely stripped, never got touched when he was on the ground, and they took about 5 minutes. And I'm like, surely they'll fix that. It's all good. Bills win. No, and they let Phillip Rivers get one more drive. Which, Phillip Rivers did what he does best, nothing. There at the end, they didn't move the ball. They were taking 30 seconds every play, even in a 2-minute drill.
I was a little bit scared, but I just knew that Phillip Rivers can't throw a deep ball to save his life. And he has 10 kids, so...
Yeah, it was just I thought the Colts... it makes you think, though, the Bills, maybe they aren't as... it's still a good win. The Colts are not a bad football team by any means.
That defense is insane.
Yeah.
That one tackle by, was it Darius Leonard? On Josh Allen.
Yeah.
It shows how huge Josh Allen is.
Dude, that was scary. I saw them
run at each other. Whacked Josh Allen. Josh Allen just stopped casually.
Straight took it. It's a good win for the Bills. They'll move on. They'll play the Ravens. But some of our bets from this game... I was about half right. You were about half right. You said the Bills would win. I said the Colts would win. You did have some bold things with saying the Bills were going to win by 13. And then I'm pretty sure there was even one comment that you might take Bills minus 23.5 or something like that.
I did say that. Should have known that wild card weekend, the underdog usually covers.
I think that's got to be something we keep in mind going into next season. That's got to be something you note down, hey, wild card, everyone covers no matter what. Maybe a push.
Yeah, because we've watched a lot of playoff football before, but we've never really bet on the playoffs before.
This is our first season. This is my first NFL season, actually betting on games. Yeah. I kind of decided to stay away from this degenerate lifestyle.
So if you're trying to make some money next year, betting for the underdog to cover is probably going to happen.
Remember this. Remember this episode. In 362 days, remember that you should bet on every wild card underdog to cover the spread. If you do, you make some money.
Yeah, but I think the Bills aren't as invincible as I thought they were, and the Colts are way better than I thought they were.
And the Colts are do they keep Phillip Rivers? I don't know. I feel like they're still a quarterback away from being or a receiver too, but Even though I was hating on Michael Pittman, he decided to go crazy for the one time. He must have been an avid listener of Off the Bench, but
Yeah, I mean, they can't really draft anybody.
yeah, whenever you do have a good season like that, it's tough to draft anyone, so they have to sign someone to free agency.
And the
Matthew
Eagles
Stafford.
chose Wentz over Doug Peterson, so...
Yeah,
And
Which is
Matthew
big deal.
Stafford's still in the market, though.
yeah.
I think that dude is low-key top 5 quarterback.
Dude, if he was on the right situation, I mean, he's made the Lions look like an actual like non-dysfunctional franchise at some points, which is a tough thing to do. But
Yeah.
Bills Colts, it kind of went how I expected. I thought it was going to be a close game to the end. Bills win the game. Really wanted the Colts to win that. It would have helped out my Chiefs' future bet. But then now moving on to our next game.
Hold on. I also bet the Bills over,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the game ended with the worst possible score.
What was the over-under? 51?
51 and a half. The game ended at 51 points. Bills win by 3. Couldn't have like got my hopes up anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I ever talked about the over-under in that one, but I thought that the Colts would at least keep it close. I did say it was going to be a lot closer of a game. Well, a lot low scoring. I said 21-16, which it didn't end up with that, but
All right. We got the Rams-Seahawks game. This was an exciting game, but it was still so boring at the same time.
it started off so slow. Like, it was actually, like, we were sitting there thinking, like, okay, the under's an absolute lock.
It went from 08 Big Ten football in the first quarter to Big 12
Yeah, shootout.
2018 football.
It looked like Baker Mayfield versus Pat Mahomes at Texas Tech, Oklahoma.
Yeah, out of nowhere. And so in the first quarter, I was feeling real good about the under. Would they have a total of 3 points?
Yeah, I think it was 6-3 or maybe like 3-3 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah. So, but I did say that the Rams were going to cover, and I did bet on them the money line also.
I went with the straight trifecta of terrible bets on this game. I said Seahawks win, Seahawks cover, and the under, which none of those. I think, like, I'm done with the Seahawks, so this is now twice. The Seahawks, I bet on the Seahawks to beat the Giants. It wasn't like the Seahawks need to cover an 8.5 spread against the Giants. It was just the Seahawks win by 2.5 against the New York Football Giants with Colt McCoy under center. I think that's the moment I should have remembered that I can't bet on these guys, but it must have slipped my mind. And I was like, I'll just give them another chance.
I did think Seahawks versus backup quarterback, don't like that.
I think if what's his name? I don't even remember his name. John Wolford.
John Wolford.
If he doesn't get paralyzed that game, do the Seahawks win? Was this a blessing in disguise for the Rams?
I bet Sean McVay's smart enough to put golf in at halftime.
Issue, but just talking about that paralyzation that we saw, I think he's actually fine. Like, I think there's
Yeah,
a
he
chance
celebrated-
he plays this week, which is weird. Like,
I hope he doesn't. But he celebrated in the locker room after the end of the game.
which is just crazy because it was like they showed a picture of him in the ambulance. Which, like, if you guys saw that picture, it looked like someone had just fallen off a 44-story hotel straight into cement because he was laid up. You could only see the top of his head, and it was just the funniest picture I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I feel like John Wolford is like a casual dude. Like, I really don't think. I think I would have taken the hit just as well,
Yes.
maybe better.
Like, that's what happens if you just throw a random dude off the street on the field, get hit by Jamal Adams. That's how they're going to end up.
I also saw that John Wolford has a LinkedIn page where he's also trying to get finance jobs.
Hey, I mean, you gotta look out for yourself outside football. One more hit from Jamal Adams, he's probably done for.
I feel like the combination of looking for a finance job and playing against a Pete Carroll defense is a broken neck.
Yeah, that makes sense when you add those two together. But I do have one question about this game that I need you to answer for me. All right, so I have a theory that Russell Wilson is spreading himself too thin. He's doing too much charity work. He has too many side businesses. He owns like part of the Seattle Sounders. He's doing way too much. He's locked. He has so many little side business with Sierra. I think Russell Wilson is never going to win another Super Bowl again unless he goes zero dark 23 mode, quits everything but football, focuses on it. I think he's done. I'm locking it in right now. You will never see Russell Wilson in another NFC championship, not even an NFC championship, for the rest of his career unless he stops acting really corny.
Yeah, I feel like he is acting like LeBron did when he went to LA.
Yes, that's what it feels like.
Like
and he's
20
trying to,
business ventures.
and it's
But
He's not LeBron.
Yeah, you got to be the greatest of all time to do that. Yeah, he doesn't have. I hope he won so early in his career, and now he just can't bounce back because everybody was so hyped on him.
Yeah. I think he's done. Well, not done. I mean, he's still a good quarterback. Like, obviously, almost every team in the NFL would want Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback. I just think that this Seahawks team needs, like, a change. Like, I don't know if it's Pete Carroll. I don't know what it's definitely not Russell Wilson. You don't just drop Russell Wilson whenever you have Russell Wilson.
I also feel like, Sean McVay's obviously a good coach. Everybody talks about it all the time. But I feel like being a 6 seed with a injured quarterback and beating the Seahawks kind of furthers his good coaching to another level.
Yeah, and this guy came in, like, it's not easy as a young quarterback to get, like, a bunch of football guys to, like, listen to you because, I mean, like, did Sean McVay play football, like, at a high level? I don't know.
It kind of does, like, I could see him being the next Bill Belichick with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, Bill Belichick takes mediocre teams and wins.
Yeah, no, Sean McVay, definitely a good coach. I think that, but the Rams against the Packers, we'll talk about that in our next episode, but it's just going to be a tough game. It will be a really interesting, like, battle of strengths going against each other, but...
Yeah, also, I feel like we're starting to see the critiques of DK Metcalf be true.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing, like, the worst team in the NFL, DK Metcalf's getting 200 yards. But if he's playing a legit corner... He can't run a route to save his life.
I would like to see his, like, I know his stats against Jalen Ramsey because ESPN doesn't go 5 minutes without tweeting him out. But I would like to see, like, DK Metcalf's stats against, like, the top 10 rated corners, which I bet you they are not good because usually whenever he's playing against a man corner that can, they don't have to be as physical as him, but at least, like, a half as physical with him as possible. Then DK Metcalf does nothing. He had that one touchdown, but that was just like a little randomly. No one on the entire team decided to guard him. But when Jalen Ramsey said, "I'm going to take you off this play," you did not see DK Metcalf.
I think he only had 44 yards.
Yeah, which that's a good game. If DK Metcalf's held to that, you're gonna beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, for sure.
But we go on to our last game of the Saturday, which honestly is probably my favorite game to watch of the weekend. Because of how random it was. Like, I knew Taylor Heineke, like, it was a late scratch for Alex Smith. And Taylor Heineke was about to start. And I had watched him play before, and whenever he came in against, I want to say the Panthers, he came in and just started chucking the ball 60 yards every play. So I was like, I'm kind of hyped to watch this. This is going to be funny. And it lived up to the hype. This guy came in slinging that thing, diving for the end zone from 5 yards out. It was electrifying to watch.
It was Johnny Manziel versus Alabama.
Yeah, it's what Johnny Manziel was like doing in college, but somehow this guy was doing it in a playoff game, and it almost worked against Tom Brady, which that would have been the most Tom Brady way to lose. I feel like Tom Brady only loses playoff games in ways that don't make any sense, and this would have just been the cherry on top.
Yeah, like Ryan Tannehill being good out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then if Taylor Heineke would have came in and knocked him out. But, Bucks win 31-23. Football team, the spread changed. It depends on when you got it, because it was at 8. Is when most people took it.
I got it at 8.
Yeah, and that would have pushed. And then whenever Alex Smith got ruled out, it changed to 10. So depending on when you got it, you either got a Bucks cover. No, my fault. A football team cover or a push, which that's not too bad. And then the over did end up hitting, which we both said, which is good. We finally got an over-under, right? Usually we are not very good with those.
I'm terrible at over-unders.
I've almost retired from them, but I'm
betting everyone this
I still keep trying them, and I will continue trying them. But, Taylor Heineke, do you think this guy's the guy? Do you think the football team gives this guy the keys to the franchise?
No. I think what Big Cat and PFT always say about guys like him, like guys that suck who don't know they're supposed to suck. Like, I think Taylor Heineke comes out next year against, say, Rams, gets whacked by Aaron Donald, then he's dead.
I could see he is one hit away from probably death as well, just like John Wolford. But also, it gave me like Lynn Sanity vibes. Like whenever Jeremy Lin came into the game and just for some reason hit 11 every shot he took. Like it was like 30 a night for 6 nights. And that's like kind of I could see him doing this maybe for like 2 weeks next season. And then teams are like, all right, I'm tired of this. Let's let's shut this little dude down.
Yeah, I think I would maybe be on him being a starter going forward, but he's randomly 27 years old.
Yeah, that's also 27 because
And
that's not young.
He played at Old Dominion.
Yeah, Old Dominion, 27, came in. No one was they didn't plan for Taylor Heineke to play this game. The Bucks had all their plan was Alex Smith's going to sit in the pocket, and then they had this Taylor Heineke dude come out, and he got outside the pocket every play. Almost made some plays, but the Bucks just weren't going to lose this game. And Tom Brady, once again, just dotting people up. He's 43 years old. I think at this point, he might play till he's 50.
Yeah, I also want to see a stat on last-minute QB changes and the underdog covering the spread.
That could be something good because it's tough because whenever you plan for a certain type of quarterback and then another one comes in, it does mess up with a lot of things, and like you'll still win the game.
I don't think this applies to like the Jaguars bringing in Mike Glennon.
Yeah,
but like if you think about it, Colt McCoy beat the Seahawks, Jalen Ramsey smokes the Saints, and then Taylor Heineke covered against the Bucks.
That might be a stat we need to look into. I wish we had like a weirdo statistician over here behind us looking up things like that. But I mean, that could be something we'd look for. We might need to take that into account when we're betting in the future. We see someone, the first time we try that, the team's going to lose by 35. Like, we'll bet on, like Lamar Jackson will miss a game. We're like, oh, RG3's going to come in and at least cover, and he'll lose by 80. Which he did cover. Didn't he? Whenever he came and played against the Steelers, whenever they had the COVID, they had to.
Trace McSorley covered.
Well, RG3 played, and then Trace McSorley came in for the end, and I think they covered.
Yeah, they wouldn't have covered with RG3, though.
They covered. So that's another one. I mean, there's probably some out there that are like completely opposite, like backup quarterback played, like when the Bengals played their backup quarterback. Well, it has to be like a late switch. It can't be like
Brandon Allen to Ryan Finley.
Yeah, it can't be like
beat the Steelers.
That is true. Wow.
We're on to something.
Because it can't be like if it happens on Monday, the coach is good enough. He's like, all right, well, let's plan for this bomb. But if it happens on Friday or even Sunday, they're like, wait. We were expecting Alex Smith. This guy's not going to move a muscle. Let's just blitz up the middle. Bucks blitz up the middle. Yeah. Tyler Heineke sneaks out.
They did not expect a mobile
quarterback.
Dives from the
5. I don't think I've ever seen that. That guy dove from the 5-yard line and managed to hold it out and get it over the plane.
That's 15 feet.
That's a guy, right? That's a football guy. You got to respect that.
Yeah, it is kind of OG. Like, he may never start an NFL game again, but that's something you still want to show your kids. Like, remember this one time I was beat Tom Brady?
That's true. I'm actually so happy for that guy.
Especially going to Old Dominion. You don't expect that.
Yeah, no. I mean, he probably also has a LinkedIn page as well. If he doesn't, then I'd be pretty impressed.
But he didn't get paralyzed.
No, he did not. Hopefully not. That won't happen in the future.
That was definitely the most fun game of the weekend, though. You thought you were about to watch the most wild upset of all time.
I was even rooting for him, even though my money was on the Buccaneers. Like I was holding myself. I was like, dude, I really want to win this money, but like, dang, I would not be mad to see this guy put together another drive here.
Well, it was a fun game for me to watch because I had the Bucks money line and Washington to cover, and so I always knew Tom Brady was going to win.
Yeah, somehow he was.
But I was rooting for them to keep it close. So it was like the perfect game for you to watch for your bets.
And then moving on, we finally made it to Sunday. Ravens, Titans. Ravens win this game. Ravens cover, and the under hits. Once again, I'm looking at here from our notes. Our bets, like I don't know what we were thinking here. I mean, I know what we were thinking, but the exact opposite must have happened. Because I think we even both said that Derrick Henry was going to run all over these guys, and it couldn't have been any more opposite. I think he ended up with 55 yards.
Yeah, maybe. The Titans' defense is bad. I really don't think it's that impressive to score 20 on the Titans.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was a big thing for the Ravens. I just liked how the Ravens kind of like, whenever usually they go down in games, they lose. But they went down early. They stayed with their game plan. Even Lamar Jackson threw that terrible pick, and I thought, oh no, it's the same old playoff Ravens with Lamar Jackson. But they stuck to their game plan. Well, actually, I don't know if they stuck to their game plan. Lamar Jackson busted out a 55-yard run out of nowhere that definitely was not a designed run.
Yeah, so the Ravens were low-key game of the playoffs away from winning this game.
Yeah. I mean, but we said Titans win. We said the over. Game ends 2013. But the main thing I liked about this game is this random logo stomping that the Ravens and Titans have going on against each other. This is now 3 straight matchups that they've traded off who's won, and every time they've just stomped on the other one's logo. I guess I wouldn't find disrespect to someone stomping on my logo. There's just something weird about that to me. I feel like it's okay, you're just stomping in the middle of the field. I take more disrespect to just losing the game rather than the logo stomping.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I get more annoyed by people getting really mad about disrespecting football. They're literally trying to kill each other out there.
Yeah, no, that's not the worst thing that's happening out there.
Gentlemen shake hands.
That is not the stomping on the logo is not the most disrespectful thing that you're seeing on a football field whenever they're running full speed at each other, trying to murder them.
Yeah, I don't understand how to be respectful after trying to hit somebody really hard.
There's no way. But then also this was one thing that I'm thinking in this game that Ryan Tannehill, I'm done with him.
Yeah.
He the one game. This was, to me, whenever the first half, the Titans can't run the ball, I'm thinking, okay, this is Ryan Tannehill's chance. Let's prove yourself here. All the stats have been good this season, but it's when you've had a run game. You don't have a run game, you've got a big chance to prove something. And he looked even worse. It was really, really bad from him. Threw that one pick late, even when they got the football back. So, Ryan Tannehill, I'm sorry. You are now Mitchell Trubisky in my eyes until further notice.
Yeah. He's a system QB who benefits off potentially the best running back ever.
Do you think the Ravens are for real, though? You think this is because now they're having them. It's almost a toss-up game between them and the Bills when it comes to sports betting, which is kind of crazy to me.
Their defense is for real. I do think their corners were still getting cooked by the Titans receivers, but Tannehill couldn't make the pass. I do think Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs is still alive.
That's why I feel like this is still a game where the Bills should be not heavy favorites, 5 or 6 point favorites, because they are the better team, and the Ravens. I mean, this is a good win for them, but the Titans had not played well towards the end of the season. So, but I mean, you never know this Ravens team. I mean, Lamar Jackson. Whenever you have a guy that can bust out a 55-yard run out of nowhere and score a touchdown, you're always in the game. Until the game, you're down by 14. He has to throw the football.
Yeah, for sure. I still think Josh Allen's going to make a few huge plays.
And then, with our favorite game of the whole weekend, which I'm honestly upset because I don't have Nickelodeon on my cable thing, which I didn't know
so
until...
you didn't get to watch this?
I only got to watch clips of it, and it was so depressing.
It's my time to
shine. So I'm going to have to hand this off to my counterpart whenever we're talking about some of the Nickelodeon. I can talk about the real football things, but not the Nickelodeon things.
All right, so the Nickelodeon game, I will say what's better and what was worse about normal football. The first down line, impeccably better. Slime flowing on the first down line, and it was bigger. You just kind of knew where the first down was. The slime cannons when they scored a touchdown was fun. There wasn't that many touchdowns though. I wish the slime game would have been Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, there would have been.
Can you imagine Big Ben crying?
Oh my gosh, and they just had slime falling on him. That would have been great. What if I'm talking real life slime. Whenever him in that picture of him and Marquise Pouncey sitting there on the bench, what if a little 9-year-old just came up and dumped slime on their head right there? What do you think Big Ben does right there? Do you think he punches that kid?
I think assault.
I think he's punching that kid without a doubt in my mind.
What's some other parts of the Nickelodeon game? Oh yeah, when Wims dropped that pass, they did a remake of him dropping that pass with Minecraft characters.
I did see that.
I mean, if you're a Bears fan, you gotta be pissed. They're just mocking you with Minecraft.
I thought the Minecraft feature was really funny. Even just
it's not even Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
they have a block people show.
Yeah, I saw the one of Mike Thomas scoring a touchdown, and it was just what's weird is how detailed it really was. They had every player in the correct position, even the Bears defensive players. It was so I don't understand.
I think they had tracking devices.
It was very weird, but it was really cool. They even got Mike Thomas's route perfect. They had the little block running forward and him turning around and catching the pass. It kind of creeped me out, to be honest.
Young Sheldon would explain things sometimes.
I do not know who Young Sheldon is.
You don't need to. You know the Big Bang Theory?
I do know that show, yes.
You know Sheldon from the Big Bang?
Yeah, I know Sheldon.
They made a show about young Sheldon.
On Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so he would explain things.
There was one, it was calls,
you know that interception that was an interception because
the one that hit the ground?
Yeah, they were the ball hit the ground like a dog's nose on the carpet. I was like, that's not a real analogy.
I mean, maybe to a 9-year-old it is.
What else happened? It was basically like watching a real NFL game with the worst announcers ever. I mean, they were trying to explain to kids like what the punt was, and I was just like, I was only in it for the memes. I didn't want to miss out on the memes.
That's why I was sad to miss out on a few memes. Other than the actual football game, I just didn't really care. I thought it was kind of boring to me. There wasn't a lot going on in it.
The best part was definitely Twitter comparing athletes to SpongeBob
I
characters.
did see that. And then also, there's a dude in that game, C.J. Gardner-Johnson on the Saints now, has been punched twice by Bears players. I don't know if the Wims one was this season or if it was last season. But he is now, C.J. Gardner-Johnson has made 2 people so mad on the Bears that he's now been punched twice on the field, which is impressive to me. And it was even a thing made that Matt Nagy made a thing in practice, like, hey, C.J. Gardner-Johnson's going to try and get in your guys' heads. Don't allow him to do this. And he still managed to do it. Anthony Miller punched him, got ejected. Yeah, that's impressive.
He must be a master trash talker.
I want to talk to him. I just want to have a conversation. I want him to try and get me so mad that I punch him.
I hope he's just saying wild things.
It could be. I really want to know what it takes to get you to punch someone with a helmet on.
I don't know. I feel like this might be offensive, but I do feel like football players are not known for emotional health.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really willing to, like, just act on anything, like, act out of...
Also, you're, like, hyping yourself up. You're like, I'm going to try to...
Yeah, so really, like, you got to have, like, a lot of motion into the sport already to, like, get yourself to run full speed at some dude.
Yeah, you're trying to make yourself angry so you can play better. And then some dude, like, talks about your mom, you're definitely going to punch him.
There was one moment that was really big in my house. Jake Collette was here. We got to shout him out because this was a great moment for him. Actually, it ended up not hitting because the Steelers got smacked. But we didn't know this because that game was later. Jake needed a touchdown from the Bears late. All he needed was just one touchdown for an alternate spread cover. And Jimmy Graham, as time expired, grabbed it with one hand. House went insane. I'm not even kidding you. Roof almost flew off just for the Steelers to get smacked later. But at the time, it was a great moment.
That actually ended up hitting for me, too, because I had the Bears plus 16, and it covered. That was like a $40 touchdown for me.
No, that was a big play. That's what's funny about sports betting to me. Is that play right there to a Bears fan means nothing at all. Or to most people watching the football game means nothing at all. But to some sports bettors, that was their Super Bowl win right there. Like, they needed that touchdown.
Well, only people who took the alternate
spread because they ended up getting messed up by the
if they would kick the extra point.
Which is weird. I guess it makes sense because why kick the extra point? Game's over.
Yeah. Like, imagine if somebody gets, like, injured on that. That's dumb.
But other than that, that game was... I don't even really
It was the
remember.
worst game of the weekend.
I just remember the Nickelodeon memes.
I bet the over, and it didn't hit.
The over did hit?
It didn't hit.
It didn't?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that's saying. Like, I didn't think the over hit. And that's what I said. And I also said Saints. Wait, no, I said Saints minus 4.5, and I had that as wrong, but that was right because the Saints did win by 11.
Yeah, I did. I had the Saints money line on a big parlay.
Yeah.
It hit.
So that was like one moment where, like, all right, we picked the Saints right, which, I mean, everyone should have. If you thought the Bears were going to win that game, you were not smart about that.
Yeah, I picked the Bucks money line, but I was kind of scared of Washington pulling out something random because their defense is so good. But I was never scared of the Bears.
And then, finishing up Super Wild Card Weekend. This game, if I wouldn't have bet on the Steelers, it would have been my favorite game of all time. Browns-Steelers, Browns win, Browns cover, the over-under, the over-hit, I'm pretty sure by a good amount.
It was the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, it was the best game, but sadly not for me.
Started off wild. Touchdown 8 seconds by the defense.
It made me so mad. Like, whenever you've got money on the Steelers, when you already hate the Steelers, and you see a snap over someone's head for a touchdown, you're like, why?
Did you bet on the Steelers against the Bengals?
I did not, no. This is the first time I've ever bet for the Steelers. I've never bet for the Steelers or against the Bengals, and I thought today was like the Steelers, like everything's pointing towards the Steelers dub, and now they have just locked in. The Steelers and Seahawks, I will never bet for them again. I promise. You'll never see it.
Well, I remembered that the Steelers finished the season 1-4, so I was like, no, they're probably gonna lose. And I did say that Mason Rudolph probably has better deep ball than Big Ben.
Yeah,
and he kind of does. everybody's hyping up Ben's 500 yards, but he threw like 75 passes. That's like 3 games worth of passes.
Yeah, and it was like, I mean, the Browns were playing like clock. Like they're just trying to kill the clock. You're up 21. You're trying to make drives take 6-7 minutes. You're going to give up a little 3-yard ball to Deontay Johnson and whatnot. So, I mean, it's the 500 yards is not impressive to me when you also put that together with 4 picks in really bad spots. Not like bad pick.
Yeah, if you're down 28 after the first quarter, all you're doing is throwing for 3 quarters.
And when you already don't have a run game. The main thing is, this Chase Claypool guy, I'm done with him. I think he is the corniest dude in the NFL. I saw a video of him, like, he was
on a Twitch stream, and he said that the Browns are going to get beat by the Chiefs.
Yeah, and it was just
he said clapped.
Yeah, he said, they're going to go get clapped in the next round, so it's all good. Okay, first off, it's not all good. You're still out of the playoffs, even if they go and get clapped.
Yeah, you're still a bum.
Yeah, it's just corny. And with him, I saw him, like, he was reacting to his own film of the game on a stream, like on a TikTok stream like that. And he was, like, talking trash about this Browns practice squad corner that had just got picked up for that game. They're 6th on the depth chart corner. I'm like, homie, that guy was literally bagging groceries last week, and he just came, like, maybe he didn't shut you down, but, I mean, he did enough that he's playing next week, and you're sat here on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Mike Tomlin, Juju and Chase Claypool say so much dumb stuff that low-key led to their defeats. Like, they might have lost anyways, but...
Oh, the Browns had that extra chip on their shoulder. I mean, they showed it, like, in their, like, post-game stuff. Like, if you saw the Browns locker room, they were just making fun of those guys. Like, that's an extra chip on your shoulder to maybe put that extra bit of effort in to win that game.
Yeah, the Browns are going off doing the Corvette TikTok dances. That was pretty good. I mean, you got to do that, though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that'll be forever. But the Steelers have a decision to make because Juju is a, like, pending free agent this season. I don't see them signing him back. It would just not make any sense to me to want to bring that guy back after that. I mean, he's a good player, but, like, I feel like if they bring him back and that becomes their culture, it just doesn't feel right for me, especially when Big Ben's their quarterback. Like, there's no way Big Ben talks to Chase Claypool or Juju. Like, there's no way they're friends.
Yeah.
That does not strike me as, like,
they're not
a group of friends.
Yeah, Big Ben's strict business and not cool at all. I mean, I feel like a lot of, like, people would classify Chase Claypool and Juju as, like, trendy, whatever. Yeah. But Big Ben, that would not move that dude's dial whatsoever.
No, not at all.
I'm going to be honest. I've never liked Big Ben in my whole life. I've never rooted for him in the whole game. I was kind of sad when he's crying.
I was about to say the exact opposite.
Well,
I do not feel bad whatsoever. It actually made me a little bit happy on the inside to see a little bit of this guy feel some pain. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt mixed emotions.
I thought it was funny.
I just feel like he's such like a stoic man. Like nothing's ever affected him.
I just feel like he's a weird guy. I don't know. Definitely. I've seen some weird rumors about this guy in the past, so I don't know.
He's definitely just big chilling. Probably always angry.
I could see him throwing a few beers when he's mad at a bar or something like that.
I didn't know that he could cry, to be honest.
I did. That is true. I did not think that guy possessed the ability to cry.
Yeah, most definitely.
And then my favorite game, completely away from the NFL, we finished up Wild Card Weekend. We had some good bets. We had some bad bets. Next week, we'll have like kind of more of a record because we'll just take like one pick per game, whether it be the over, the under, or a spread pick of either team. So this week, we were a little bit all over the place with our bets. But my favorite game of the weekend, I guess it would be the week because this was on Monday night. Ohio State, Bama. Bama came out, slapped these fools. It made me happy. I got to hate on Ohio State again, which is low-key something that makes me happy.
Yeah, I'd do that if I was a UC fan. But I'm still riding the high from the 2014 National Championship, so I don't care that much. But Alabama's wide receivers could go toe-to-toe with a lot of NFL teams' receivers. And Ohio State's defensive play calling was garbage. They're like, I don't care if Devonta Smith is on the sideline, I still want to spy on that dude. Like, he would, like, run back in, act like a jet sweep, go back out, 50-yard play. Like, you got to be smart on that.
That's a guy that you can't be given a lot of space to. You got to make someone else beat you, which it's pretty much like they did that to Najee Harris. Like, every time Najee Harris got the ball, they were at least have one dude at least try and hit him behind the line. Sometimes he'd break off it. But it seemed like they focused on that guy more than they focused on Devonta Smith, which is a bold strategy because Devonta Smith did win the Heisman because he had probably the best wide receiver season of all time. And if he didn't get injured in that game, I don't even want to know what his stat line would have ended up being.
No.
It would have been seriously impressive.
Yeah, because, yeah.
It makes you think, though, like this Alabama offense, was it better than LSU's last year? Because both of them just came out there and scored every time they wanted to.
Man, I don't know. Because I would love to see that game, though.
That game would be crazy. I really don't know. Offensive-wise, I think I think LSU's offense was a little bit better.
Joe Burrow threw 60 TDs.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yeah. And and then
games.
When you go Joe Burrow versus McCorkle or whatever his name is, I got to go with my guy Joe Burrow. So LSU's offense, I'll take that. But overall team, that Alabama team, and it's weird because that Alabama defense is like super young too. So like that entire defensive line was like super young. And that is going to be a scary team going forward. But Trey Sermon getting hurt as well, that definitely did not help out the boys on the first drive.
Yeah, Master T did the best he could. I think that the game would have been lower scoring if Trey Sermon was in. And maybe they covered the spread, probably not. I think they still would have lost by 14 just because we had tough Borland on Devonta Smith.
Yeah, no, that clip was pretty funny to see that guy trying to chase him down.
Also, the Ohio State D coordinator looks like a true Big Ten defensive coordinator. So
he was acting like he was playing Northwestern that game. Like he was like, all right, probably just some slow receivers on the outside. Sean Wade will be able to tackle people in open space. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I wasn't very mad about it because of how good Alabama was.
Yeah, no. I mean, whenever a team just beats you, and it's not like Ohio State played terrible. I mean, they did what they could.
I mean,
could have been a little bit better play calling, I think, at some point.
For Alabama to blow out an Ohio State team that blew out Clemson is insane.
Yeah, that does show. Nick Saban just recruits freaks. That's enough about college football. We can talk about our last thing before we end this episode. Our first version of the Can't Lose Parlay. You could talk about how yours went, and then I'll talk about how mine went.
The Can't Lose Parlay is sponsored by Jay Collette. So shout out Jay Collette.
Shout out Jake.
This was my best betting weekend of all time, by far. I put in like very little money, and I've almost like times it by 6. So I love sports betting. I had Bucks money line, Bills minus 2.5, close one, and Saints money line, and my Can't Lose Parlay on season is 4-2.
That's not bad right there, and also 4-2, but 1-0 on the podcast.
Oh yeah, that's all I meant. I should have told you guys 4-2.
Yeah, so technically, I think what's a better record, 1-0 or 4-2?
4-2.
I think 4-2 is a better record. In betting, I'd rather be 4-2.
Or betting dudes would be like, my betting is 53 and 52.
If you're 53% in betting, you're winning. Unless you're putting really stupid money.
Unless you're only doing parlays, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Then you're 0%. But what was I about to say? You should talk. I'll remember it.
But also, my first Can't Lose Parlay, sadly, the team that just wanted to... I'm done betting on him. I'm done rooting... Actually, I've never rooted for him. I hate him. I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. I hate them. And my first Can't Lose Parlay, Bucks minus 2.5, Saints minus 2.5, Alabama money line. All three of those hit. We had one more leg to go. I wanted to leave it at 3 legs, kind of, but I wanted to get the odds up a bit. So I threw in the Steelers minus 2.5 to get it to plus 210 total, and they blew it. But I will be back next week with a better Can't Lose Parlay. I swear on it. It will hit. No matter what I say now, it will hit.
Also, on my game predictions from last podcast, I went 5-1.
That is a lot better than I did. I think I went
3-3.
Yeah, not good. But I wanted to take the Colts for some reason, which is bold.
Which ones did you lose on? Titans?
Seahawks, Colts, Titans. Steelers. Did I go 2-4?
Oh, dude.
I did go 2-4 on straight picks. Luckily, I put most of my money in the Bucks and Saints, so I saved myself. This week in sports betting, I think I might start posting my sports betting stuff so I can show you this stuff as well. But I went, out of all the money I spent, I ended up losing $5 in sports bets this week, which is just like downright boring. Like it doesn't even.
Yeah.
It's like I was getting like hype and sad for no reason because I was just down 5 McChickens at the end of the week.
Yeah. Well, that was like 3 McChickens now.
Oh yeah, after the change.
Yeah.
The economy's
After
going to trash.
inflation.
Here. Inflation and
McChickens are low key
that's the
a
value.
marker for the economy.
So this is what it is. $1 is a McChicken.
That's our units. 3 McChicken.
One Chipotle bowl is $10. So if you lose $10 on a bet, you lost a Chipotle bowl.
Chipotle bowl's $10 for you.
Well, I mean,
what are you getting?
I mean, if you get like double chicken, some guac. Like,
I'm trying to get out there with $7.50, bro.
All right, see, then that's Well, I mean, if you bet $7.50, you lost a basic Chipotle bowl.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
But I mean, I think unless you got anything else you want to speak about on the second episode of the binge.
No. Well, I hope this sounded better.
For sure. Let's hope. Pray.
Yeah, we pray that sounded better. Yeah, it's fun to talk about sports. We do this for free anyways. So hopefully you guys are having fun listening to our conversations about sports, and have fun listening to our recap, and be looking out for our next episode on the divisional round of the playoffs.
Let's go,
baby. See ya next week. I mean, in 2 days.